Welcome back. Okay, now we're going to go and do the inside of the RV. So we're going to open up the door here, and if you notice, you got your main door, and then you also have a screen door. And as we talked about it, you can connect this on the back like so, and that will lock the door to keep it from closing on you in the wind. And then you've got this screen door here, excuse me, where you can keep this closed and keep the mosquitoes out or whatever. So we'll open that up here. Right inside, we've got a fire extinguisher to the left there, you'll see it. And then also on this panel here, you will see a propane detector. That's what that other little deal is right there mounted. That sniffs out propane. If it goes off, it thinks it smells propane, or if you spray some Lysol or something really strong, it will go off to let you know that it smells something in the air. All right, we're gonna come on inside here. Over here on the same wall, when you first come in, you've got a bunch of switches here. And these are all light switches for various things inside the coach. Okay? This is your booth dinette here. This will convert into a bed. The way you would do that is basically you would grab the table, and there's two poles under there. And then you would keep wiggling the table, and then it would come off the poles. So you take it off, then you pull the poles out of the floor and lay them right on the side of the dinette. And then if you notice, this table is going to fit right in the middle here like a puzzle piece, and it's going to sit in here and it's going to make this one piece. It makes it flat, and then you take these cushions and then you just lay them side by side flat on top of this when it's in that position, and that makes a little small twin size bed. If you're an adult, it's okay to sleep on it, but do not sit in the middle when you're going to put your shoes on or something like that. Make sure you sit on each side, because these tables will break in half when you're sitting right in the center. So sit either this side or that side if you're an adult and you're going to put your shoes on. Also over here we've got some storage cabinets here. If you notice, we have a TV here, a CD player, DVD player is up here as well. And basically either just turn on your radio, or this you just push the button and it comes on there. And then we've got a couple of remotes for the TV as well as the DVD player. You do have to have electricity for these items to work. These don't work off 12 volts. You got to be plugged into electricity to get these to work. Over here, if you notice, you got your thermostat. This is a thermostat for the furnace. Only for the furnace. For the air conditioner, it's mounted. This is ducted air in the ceiling. You got vents throughout the RV, and it's ducted. And you would turn this on by this control over here. This turns your air conditioner on low, high, or if you just want it on fan. But that's how that works, just like that. Of course, once again, you need to have electricity in order to make the air conditioner work. Back here, you have a double bed with a bunk over it. And then if you look at this window here, you see the little red handle. This is also considered as an emergency exit. You lift that red handle up from under that little hook, and then you bring it to the center and you push it, and then it swings out, and then you're able to escape out of that window right there if you needed to. And then you got little storage there, and the lights work like so, just like that. And you've also got stereo speakers that are hooked to that stereo right there. Let's take a look in the bathroom here. Inside of the bathroom here, you do have a tub, so if you have little kids, you could give them a bath. Or you have the shower, which is a little handheld deal. And then you have the light switch over here on the wall. The toilet basically works with a lever. So you pull the lever just a little bit towards you, and that puts water in the bowl. If you pull it all the way, that opens up the little trap door and it flushes it. And then of course you've got the lids here and so forth. You only are going to use RV toilet tissue. We supply you with 4 rolls of toilet tissue and 2 bottles of chemicals, and they are usually housed inside the medicine cabinet. There you are. There's your 4 rolls of tissue, and then here are your 2 bottles of chemicals. We have not treated these tanks, so what you need to do is, before you start to use the restroom, you grab a bottle of the chemicals, you put some water in the bowl by pulling that lever just a little bit, and then you would pour about a half a bottle right into the water and then flush the toilet. And what's going to happen is these chemicals will sit in the bottom of the tank, in the black tank, and when you put waste in there, toilet tissue, it's going to help dissolve the tissue, and it helps keep any smell down until you can dump your tanks. You need to do that each time you dump your tanks, or as needed. And over here in your bathroom here, you know, it's just like at home. You know, right is cold and left is hot, and then you have your outlet over here, and then you have some more storage underneath this sink here. Okay, and of course your shower curtains, and then you have this exhaust fan over here that you can open up. You basically open it up, and you turn on the switch, and then it'll help pull any smell or anything out of here or any heat. Now remember though, if you open this up, you need to close it before you leave because there is no cover over the top. It's open to the sky, and if it rains, it's going to rain inside, or the wind is going to be hitting it when you're driving down the road and could break it. So make sure you close that vent before you depart from your campsite. Okay? All right. Refrigerator here. A lot of people are concerned about how these work. Yes, you can use your refrigerator when you're traveling down the road. When you're pulling this trailer, the refrigerator is going to work off of propane and the battery. And that's going to help keep your food cold. And the way this refrigerator works is, you see it says auto, off, and gas. You always put it to automatic. And when you put to automatic, it automatically knows what the source is that we're using. Right now we're plugged into electricity. So it's going to run on electricity. If we unplug the power cord outside, it's going to automatically switch to propane. And the settings are from 1 to 5. 5 being the coldest, and just always leave it at 5. When you turn this refrigerator on for the first time, it's going to take between 6 to 7 hours before it gets to its maximum operating temperature, and it works from the top down. So if you turn it on and it's 45 minutes later and you go, man, it's not cold, put your hand on the bottom of the freezer, and if you feel it getting cold, then you know it's working. But it does take 5 to 7 hours for it to get to its maximum temperature. And the way you open it, you just put your hand in here and you pull on it, and that opens up the freezer. And for the refrigerator, you put your hand in the bottom, it opens it up. And when you close it, make sure you hear the snap so it won't fly up when you're going down the road. Okay? Right over here is your breaker box. It's pretty critical you remember where this is because if you trip your breakers, it's like an Easter egg hunt trying to find this thing sometimes. But anyway, here's your breaker box here, and here are all the fuses, and they're all labeled, and all the breakers are labeled there. Okay? When you reset a breaker, do it kind of firmly, because sometimes if you do it softly, it won't reset it. So do it kind of firmly when you do it. Over here on the stove, the way this works, you decide which eye you want to use, and you do have to have like a match or one of those little butane lighter things to light the stove. But basically what you do is you turn to light and then hold your match right there and then light the stove. Same thing with the oven. When you want to light the oven, you turn to pilot on, and down here in the oven, way down underneath the bottom, you're going to see 2 little prongs sticking out. So when you have this to pilot on, you keep that pushed in, hold it, and then you take your lighter and you light that stem. Once that stem is lit, you let go of this and you turn it to the temperature that you want it to be, and then there's another little grid in there and it just kind of lights, goes all the way across. And that's how your oven works, okay? And it works on propane. You also have some little storage under here, a little small space here for storage. And over here, you have your light over the stove. And then you have your exhaust vent. We talked about opening that vent on the outside so this exhaust can be pulled out. Make sure you open it up before you run this. And then of course you have your microwave, and it's just like any microwave at home. When you see it lit up, that means you have electricity inside. So if you're out somewhere and you plugged in and you walk in here and you don't see that lit up, something's not right and you don't have electricity. Or someone may have found where the microwave is plugged in inside the compartment and unplugged it. But likely, more than likely, you don't have electricity there, okay? Over here, you got your sink, same things like at home. You know, left is hot and the right is cold. When you turn on your hot water heater, and there's a switch right over here, it says water heater, LP gas, water heater electric. So, if you have electricity where you are, you can run it on electricity. If you don't have electricity, you can run it on propane, but not both, one or the other. Okay, when you turn on propane, it's about 20 minutes before you have hot water. When you turn on electric, it's about 30 minutes before you have hot water. So once you start using something, the toilet, or the shower, or the sink, and you're using the hot water, the system automatically brings more water in to start refilling the hot water heater. Just like in your home. When you turn on the water at home, the heater pulls more water in and starts reheating it. But you always have that 20 or 30 minute delay. If you don't have a water hose hooked to the side, you will need to turn on your water pump. That switch right there that says water pump turns on the pump, and then it'll pump water like you were seeing to the different, to the different sinks and so forth inside the trailer. Over here is your monitor panel. You see it says BAT, that's your battery. Fresh, that's how much water you have in that freshwater tank that we talked about earlier. And then over here is your black tank and your gray tank. You push them and they'll light up. And as you can see, I pushed the black and it's empty. Push the gray and it's empty. You push the freshwater and it's at 2/3 because we hadn't filled it all the way. And then the battery is fully charged. And that's how that all works there. And then you have a GFI outlet over here. Okay, so like I say, you have various lights around here, and you have blinds and shades and so forth. This sofa will make it to a sleeper. Basically, what you want to do is you grab the bottom and you pull it like so, and it will just lay flat like that. That's how it goes. I won't do it all the way now, but basically you just pull it and it lays flat like a futon bed. And then you have your main bed over here. This is a walk-around bed, as you can see. So it'll sleep. It's considered a full-size bed. So if you're wondering what size sheets, if you have full-size sheets, you can bring those, or if you have queen sheets, then those will work. And then of course you have your air-conditioned vents overhead here, and then your lights and so forth. And like I said, these all work from the switches here, or there are switches over on the wall there. And then you have your, we call these shirt closets, where you can hang up shirts and things because there are hooks there, or rods for your shirts, your hangers. And then you have storage overhead there. Okay? And then you also have an electrical outlet on each side there if you want to plug in a lamp or a clock radio or whatever. Okay? This is your TV antenna. When you raise this up, what you want to do is you want to hold this like instead of this way, because you'll break it because it's just plastic. You hold it this way, and then you crank up this antenna. Now, when this antenna is fully extended, it's going to be almost 4 feet tall, sitting up, and it's like a big T. You do not want to drive off with this thing up. So when you're cranking it up, you crank it until she stops. Once it stops, then it's fully extended. And if you have the TV on it, the reception is poor, what you can do is you can pull this down a little bit like I just did, and rotate that antenna around, and it may improve the reception. And if you notice these two little points here, in order to put this antenna away properly, where it's sitting flat on the roof, you have to line those two arrows up, and then you bring it back down, and you crank it down. And you crank it until it stops cranking, and it's flat and it's on the roof. Once again, these are your air conditioning vents here. Over here is a smoke detector, just like at your home. That's pretty much how these different things work here. And then you have drawers over here. When you open the drawers, you lift up and pull out, and that way they don't pop open when you're driving down the road. I think that pretty much covers everything in here. We talked about the light switches, different things like that. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for your time.